day 27 of building something in Jamaica, and I have my husband here. We're going to talk about shipping to Jamaica, the 2 containers. We've had a few questions about that, so here are some answers. Now, we have 2 containers. Where did they come from?
So the first container came from the UK, which had a lot of personal stuff in it, and the other container came from China, which had a lot of more commercial stuff.
Both of the containers left on the same day. What was the time frame of each of the containers to arrive?
So the UK one came in 5 weeks. There is normally a 3-week service and 5-week service, but we opted for the cheaper one, which is obviously 5 weeks. And the China one could have taken about 35 to 45 days, because that's normally how long it could take. However, because of where it was coming in China and a few other complexities, it took about 65 days.
If you want to keep the container, is there an additional cost or anything like that?
Okay, so there would be a cost when you come to the wharf, because the container itself would have a price. And there are some companies, such as West Indies Freight, which I've used and are very good. They would allow you to just buy the container once it reaches Jamaica. So you can buy the container in the UK, they will fill it with other people's goods, they will sort that out with the other individuals, and then you will take the container once they're done.
So in terms of the China container, we didn't actually go to China to get our goods. So how did we do it?
Okay, so I have a very good friend who's almost like family now. She lives in China. She will buy everything, go to the factories, check out the prices, make sure you're getting the best price and the actual quality goods. She'll check all of the goods before they come and make sure they send. So that saves me that problem. And you can even visit her and she'll drive you around the whole island. You could go shopping with her.
So what was the customs and clearing process like at the wharf?
The wharf is where you have to have a custom broker, and they do what they say in their name, broke. They make you broke. However, I have a very good customs broker over here who is very good at explaining the whole process. But there are fees, and different fees go to different people for different things. And depends on what you're bringing, depends on how much it costs.
Okay, so I do know people do want to know how much our containers cost and everything. Could you give a generic figure for how much it cost in total?
From China costs about £1,300, and then you're paying about £500 to customs to clear it. Roughly speaking, it could be plus or minus a couple £100, depends on the condition and where you get it from and the time, etc. The UK container was a little bit more expensive. That was about £1,700, and that same amount to clear it once it comes this end. And that's just for the container itself, not for the contents inside the container, which has a different price and depends on what it is and how it's coming in. There's a whole list which will explain, because it's very hard to get that information from a custom broker.
What surprised you the most about this whole process? I think what surprised me was just how prices can just change. Like, you'll have a price that you estimate in your mind and it somehow works out a little bit more expensive. That kind of surprised me.
Yes. So one of the biggest surprises can be that you buy something for £5 and you think, oh, that's right, I'll bring it to Jamaica and pay a bit of customs on it, and you can almost end up paying £10 to ship it and clear it once it comes here. It depends on what it is. There are different exemptions for different things. So just because you have something doesn't mean that it can come into the country very easily or cheaply. So it really does help if you know what you're sending and how you're sending, and you have to kind of overestimate just a little bit extra, because if not, you'll feel like you're spending more money to get something in which you could probably purchase over here for a lot cheaper.